AEW seems to have a lot of momentum right now, so I want to discuss what's going on and my feelings on AEW and do a positive video about AEW. I have done videos in the past reviewing their pay per views, going all the way back to, I may have even done Double or Nothing, the first one. I don't remember, but I know I've reviewed almost all of their pay per views here on the channel, and except for the ones that I actually went to because I couldn't review them because I was out of town. But I've criticized Tony Khan's behavior and I've criticized his booking, but things seem to be on an upward trend, so I want to talk about that. There is some momentum building from AEW. I've had a lot of people who have been even more critical of AEW than I have tell me that the show is improving. So I think I am going to check out Dynamite and see where the build-up goes to All In. All In, of course, is in a stadium in Texas. It's going to be their biggest show of the year, so they have to make sure that that show delivers not just in match quality, because most assuredly it will. We're talking about the company that always delivers good matches on pay-per-view. That's what their strong suit is, right? For better or for worse. I've talked about the importance of angles and characters, and that's something AEW needs to work on, and hopefully they'll have all of their ducks in a row going into All In this year. So I reviewed recently the Double or Nothing show from Sunday, where Adam Hangman Page defeated Will Ospreay, and now he is set to go one-on-one with Jon Moxley. Now remember, Page and Moxley do have history. It was in 2022 that Mox, knocked out Page. It was an accident in a match, gave him a legit concussion, but that led to a storyline where they feuded in 2023, and they had a really, really good match at Revolution 2023. So seek that out if you, if you have some time, because it is worth going out of your way to see that. And it's also worth going out of your way to see the recent Ospreay and Hangman Page match from the pay-per-view. That was one of the best matches of the year, and really one that I had tons of fun watching, and I enjoyed it. Now, I want to discuss with you why Hangman Page needs to win. Okay, look, AEW has been in the gutter for a while, and a big reason as to why is because of the Death Rider story and it not really getting over with people. The Death Rider storyline is not working, and so the business now for AEW is slowly starting to climb back up again. Like I told you, they're doing better shows. Their numbers are slowly going up. There seems to be more interest in the company now, whether it be because we're going into All In season and that's their biggest show of the year. And I think people are more inclined to watch the build up to the big shows, just like how they would during WrestleMania season. That I think that could be a reason, or it could be because maybe some people are a little bit, some folks are a little bit irritated at WWE's booking. I have been critical of it as well. We had a wonderful 2023 and 2024, and 2025 has just not delivered with the booking. The John Cena heel turn, I think, has failed to meet the expectations that a lot of folks thought that it should. His character, while a little bit different, is not really all that compelling. Cody's back, so his original rivalry can continue, but now we have a situation where you have Cena versus R-Truth, and you've got this sort of mini feud with Jey Uso. There's not much in the realm of interest there. However, I still will give them the benefit of the doubt to see if they can improve, but that's not the only problem with WWE booking. There's been other issues as well. So it could be that some people are saying, let's go check out AEW. Let's see if they've improved. And I give them a chance every few weeks. So Hangman Page has to win because, look, even though Jon Moxley is the champion And even though the talk had been that Darby's going to beat him, I've already said before that I don't think Darby Allin should be world champion. I think he should be a guy on the card. He can be a main eventer, but I just don't see him as world champion. He just doesn't look like somebody who I would buy as a world champion. His style is a little bit too, death defying, too many stunts, I would say. And because of that, he's a good guy to have as an attraction. Darby Allin should be more of a special attraction than being the world champion. You can have him go for the title, but to me, I've been saying it should be Swerve or Ospreay or even Omega. But now we have Hangman Page. And even though AEW is slowly getting better, I still think that Moxley has to drop the title to Hangman Page. I think people are getting more into AEW because they can feel that Hangman's going to overthrow him. I think people are slowly going to be giving the company a chance. And if they tune into this pay-per-view and it's the same old shit and the Death Riders do a bunch of interference and Mox retains the title, it's just going to leave a bad taste in people's mouths. Like, I don't think Jon Moxley is the draw right now. I think there are various different draws in AEW, but I think the idea of him getting beaten, overthrown, if you will, from Hangman Page, I think that is what people are really tuning in for. And it has to happen because there's a story here, Hangman lost the belt to CM Punk going back to 2022, and that, of course, would be the beginning of the Brawl Out incident. And then he had the feud with Moxley. Like, he had a feud with Moxley and that whole group. And then he slowly kind of went down the heelish route. Before he went heel, he had the feud with Swerve, and then they kind of did somewhat of a double turn. Maybe not at the same time, but Hangman was like obsessing over preventing Swerve from being world champion. He failed because Swerve did win the title, but that feud sort of continued, and then after a while it just stopped because even though they hate each other, this can't go on forever. And now Hangman has been turning face, for the past few weeks. Now, what I like about this is that Will Ospreay did promise Hangman that if he beat him at Double or Nothing, he would have his back. So that would mean that Ospreay should be there to help Hangman even the odds if the Death Riders try to attack him or try to screw him out of the title. And have Moxley retain it. But the real thing is there's multiple guys in the Death Riders. Who else is going to help? And that's where Swerve comes in. I think Swerve Strickland helping Adam Page win the title from Jon Moxley is great storytelling because it's going to put an end to their feud, at least for now, because they can always bring it back. In fact, they could even do it right after. They could even have Hangman defend against Swerve, coming up at Wrestle Dream or All Out or wherever. They could do that again if they want to. I wouldn't, because the match with the syringe and the chair shot, I just thought it was too much. And then you got Swerve getting his tongue stapled, not really my thing. But no, Swerve helping Page win the title as an ultimate screw you to the elite, the Bucks, who are now not going to be aligned with Hangman anymore, and to the Death Riders, I think makes perfect sense. I think that's a story that makes sense. I think it's a story they need to run with, and it's going to ultimately build to this crescendo where Swerve will have done Hangman a favor, and maybe Hangman will have to owe him a title shot. Lots of ways you can go with it, but the Swerve-Hangman relationship is complex, and that's ultimately what makes interesting wrestling characters. It's not just their own character, it's how they interact with other characters. And so, to me, I just feel like this is the right move. I think having Hangman defeat Mox is going to actually make All In feel special. It'll be the culmination of the story arc of Page losing the title and kind of going, in the gutter and building himself back up to once again take the throne and get another title reign and over Moxley of all people, and it'll put an end to the Death Riders and to the Moxley storyline. Well, they can do rematches, but I mean, the Mox title reign where the belt's been in a briefcase and all that, like, it's not working, and you kind of kill like 4 birds with one stone here. And when it comes to Ospreay, you can always have him, which I think they're going to do this. They're going to wait till Wembley next year because All In is back at Wembley next year. And that will be the night that Ospreay wins the title. I don't know from who. Could be Hangman. Could be Swerve. Could be someone else. Depends on who's champion. I couldn't tell you exactly where to book Hangman's title reign right now. But I do think that it's one that is going to make the fans feel good. The people that went to All In are going to feel like, yeah, we paid premium tickets and we got a good show with a good ending, and it'll feel like a new era. It'll be the end of the Death Riders era. He absolutely has to win the title. Like, if Hangman does not beat Jon Moxley at All In, that might be like the end of AEW in the eyes of a lot of fans. Not saying they're going to go out of business. Not saying that the company's closing down. I'm saying people are going to turn it off because it's like, dude, no more of this. Like, I've already talked to people who have said that. The Hangman journey is too good to screw up now. So, it has to happen. It must happen. Let me know your thoughts on the Hangman journey, on the Mox match, what you think could happen. If you think I'm wrong, I'd love to read it. I'll see you guys real soon. Take care.